We all have moments in our life where we feel unbalanced. So today I'm going to share the 7 steps to get balance back in our life and also the science behind why I've chosen these. So make sure you stay tuned to that. Well, the first thing to recognize is, what is a lack of balance? Well, think about it. When we aren't balanced, we don't feel right. So that leads us to step 1. Go to my website, www.thegreatnessmovement.com, and there's a free download for this feelings wheel. And this is step number 1, is get this feelings wheel. Now, the way we're going to use this is over the next several days, you're going to keep track of your feelings. So I always suggest 5 times a day, stop and pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling? Is it, say, sensitive or trusting or repelled or appalled or disapproving, humiliated, indignant, violated? What feelings are unbalanced? And that's what this helps you identify. So you're going to track those feelings 5 times a day. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is, once you start doing that, ask yourself, where in my body do I feel this frustration, anger, imbalance, whatever it is? Is it in your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your heart, your stomach, your head? Where is it? Make a note of that. Now, step number 3 is to ask yourself, what happened just before I felt unbalanced? Like, has it been a stretch where you're feeling unbalanced? What happened a day or 2 before that? Was it just this moment where you felt imbalanced? What triggered that? Make a note of it. Discover what created the imbalance, all right? What triggered it? Now we move on to step 4, and this has actually 5 questions to it. The 4th step is, how do I respond once I start feeling imbalanced, okay? And then we're going to ask ourselves 5 questions in this step. The first one is, did I sabotage myself? Is that one of my responses when I feel imbalanced? Question number 2 is, do I get needy or manipulative? See, a lot of people, when they get imbalanced, they'll actually get really nice, trying to get attention, which actually pushes people away and creates more imbalance. The next question is, did you do the opposite? Did you shut down, run away, seclude yourself, just become avoidant of everyone and everything? The next question is, did I medicate in any fashion? See, many people, when they feel that lack of balance, that's when they reach for the alcohol, the pot, the pills, the cigarette, the food, the gambling, the sex, the porn. What did you do? Did you medicate in some fashion that when you started to feel that imbalance? And finally, what coping skill did I use to help me medicate this unbalance away? It's very important. It may be one of those, but it may be something else. It may be through relationship. It may be through work. What are you using to try and cope through this? Is it positive or negative? Pay attention to that. So that's step 4. Now let's move on to step 5. When was my earliest recollection of having this feeling of unbalance? Now in here, you're going to draw on not on only the feelings that you've categorized, but where in your body do you feel it? And ask yourself, what's my earliest memory of having this feeling as both a thought and in my body? Okay? The next question is, step 6, is how am I repeating this thought and feeling? How is this imbalance showing up throughout my life? Once we find the earliest, we're going to be able to see, wow, this has been repeating over and over. These are the triggers that make it repeat. These are my common responses to that situation. You're basically mapping out this whole process of what creates the imbalance in your life. And that leads us to step 7. Now that we've gained an awareness, we need to go become an expert in healing the feelings of imbalance that have plagued us for days, years, centuries, not centuries, the days, years, decades long. See, now we have the proof that this feeling didn't just happen in this moment, it happened long before. And now we get into the science of why I've chosen this process. You see, modern science shows that 70% of all the messages we receive in childhood, whether that's from our parents, grandparents, friends, family, teachers, coaches, 70% of it is negative, disempowering, and self-sabotaging. So we all have tremendous pain from our childhood that we're reliving throughout our life because we've never been taught emotional mastery. And what I'm giving you are some basic skills to learn emotional mastery. Because what have we been taught about emotions? Don't have them, don't talk about them, don't deal with them. Thought matters. Well, it doesn't. As also modern science shows, almost every thought we have starts with a feeling. All right? Now, that leads us to the next level of science. What many people don't realize is the way our brain works. Our brain seeks to repeat what it knows. It takes tremendous energy for our brain to work. So its solution is to repeat things it's already done, things that have been placed in our subconscious. Well, what gets placed in our subconscious? The most emotional experiences we have. Well, if 70% of all the information and programming we get in childhood is negative, our brain is seeking to repeat that negative feeling experience, and you just mapped out the proof of that. And now we get to the last piece of science. Studies show that 95% of our daily life, we are not present. We think we're making decisions as an adult in the moment, but we're not. Because of these underlying dynamics, because of the lack of emotional mastery in our lives, because we haven't been taught it, what people don't realize is we're 30, 40, 60 years old, and we're actually children. Those decisions, because almost everything is feeling based, are predicated on that 70% of negative information that was downloaded into us, and you've just mapped out how you've repeated it even as an adult. You're still responding as a child. And that's why 95% of our life, we're not present. We're actually reliving and replaying the subconscious painful moments from our childhood. And those are creating all of our decisions, relationally, professionally, everything. And so now you can see the importance of these 7 steps. We need to get to the source of that programming to change it. We need awareness. Most people are like, wow, I had no idea. Oh my God, I'm just reliving my childhood even though I'm 52 years old? Yeah, it's what we all do. And that's why going to become an expert. And so the solution for that is my book. In here, I lay out the process so you gain this awareness, but more importantly, the process on how to shift and heal those feelings. What does that entail? Because what we need to do is create a new emotional chemical addiction in our brain and body. Because that's what gets implanted in our subconscious is emotions that were deep, and it creates an emotional chemical addiction, and that's why our brain repeats it. And so we need to create a new one that becomes the new known, so our brain repeats that. And that's what my process shows you. So there are the 7 steps. I hope that helps you. If you know some people struggling and you think this could help them, please just like and share it. And please leave comments. There's a lot of new information, a lot of people. Let me know your thoughts, especially the one, maybe a lot of people didn't realize. It's not our thoughts that change us, it's our feelings that change us. And maybe that's new to you. So share your thoughts and feelings about that. So I hope that helps you, and have a great day.